But anyways,
Goran Dragic. Today is the last day. If you guys are unaware, I don't know if you know this, Jackson. We can't make any signing videos anymore. I believe the only other signing videos we can make are like if a bad team, or I believe if a two-way player can still be converted to a playoff roster because they're technically already on the roster. So two-way players can be converted after March 1st. But no free agent can be signed after March 1st and be playoff roster eligible. If a player is signed after March 1st to a roster on like one of those multi-year non-guaranteed deals where like the rest of the season is guaranteed, like you see the Thunder do it and all the tanking teams, they'll sign like they just recently signed Lindy Waters, but usually later in this season right here they'll like sign a guy to a guaranteed deal for like the last 5 games, and then it technically has like 2 non-guaranteed deals taking the training camp the following season and half the time they get cut. But you have right here Goran Dragic. There's the Slovenian tie. Jason Kidd allegedly thinks that this was back in September. Headline came out. Jason Kidd thinks Goran Dragic's washed.
what?
Nico Harrison isn't the biggest fan, but Luka Doncic and has a big relationship with his co-star on the Slovenian national team. And we know the Miami Heat have straight up and came out and said they're not interested. And Goran Dragic, I mean, you have Frank Ntilikina, McKinley Wright the fourth, and Jaden Hardy as your backup 3 guards behind Kyrie Irving and Luka Doncic. I personally think bringing in a guy like Goran Dragic, playing 15 minutes a night, showing that he can still shoot like 35% from 3, above 40% from the field. He's going to give you like 6 points, few assists. Now, there's no defense there, but you have the defensive guard and Frank Ntilikina if you need defense. But if you need a guy to give a breather, you have Goran Dragic. And you have the idea with Goran Dragic that you can play Frank Ntilikina and Goran Dragic in swap of Kyrie and Luka Doncic. Let's say there's a blowout and you want to keep the lead. Frank Ntilikina and Goran Dragic. You have Frank Ntilikina playing on offense off ball because he's shown that he can be a catch and shoot 3 guy kind of. And you have Goran Dragic facilitating. And then on defense, you have Goran Dragic kind of hidden, and you have Frank Ntilikina defending. What is your thoughts? And hit that like and subscribe button if you guys are enjoying, and be a friend and tell a friend. And if you didn't enjoy, just forget it ever happened.
I hate that a lot. One of Kyrie or Luka has to be out on the court at all times, no questions asked. But
unless it's a blowout, I said. That's what I was saying.
No, keep them in. It's too risky. Their defense is that bad.
You're going to risk injury?
Yeah. I mean, when you put it like that, I sound desperate. But, like, yeah, that's how bad the Dallas Mavericks defense is. I don't get why people understand this. What's the record since Kyrie's joined them? 2-4? Oh, 2-4. This team, they need every help they can get. And I think the Maxi Kleber return yesterday might be the end for Nerlens Noel to Dallas. So if they're not going to get Nerlens Noel, then I agree with you. Either way, I agree with you either way. I think Goran Dragic would be nice, 15, 20 minutes off of the bench. This is the worst rebounding team in the league. But, so, Kleber's coming back. So Noel would help with being the worst rebounding and one of the worst rim protecting teams. But they're also the second worst assist teams. So, yeah.
Well, the problem is really I'm pretty sure the whole thing is the next part of this whole argument is I'm pretty sure the Dallas Mavericks, if they wanted to sign Goran Dragic or Nerlens Noel, they have to waive someone. Now, I don't think they're going to waive Theo Pinson. Seems like they really like the guy. So you think here, do you waive like Markieff Morris for Goran Dragic or Nerlens Noel? Do you waive? Who else could you waive? Do you Davis Bertans has too many years left to stretch and waive, unless you really want to commit to that. I mean, kudos to them if they're really, that's what they're trying to do. But the one thing I'm thinking right here is if you do, it just gets hard to think about. Like the only other way I see them working around this whole thing, if they want to sign both guys, because I made a video about this, and I said if you sign Goran Dragic and Nerlens Noel, that's a great 2 pickups on the last day possible. The whole problem is that you'd have to cut 2 guys, and the only 2 guys I could see is you cut Theo Penson and like Markieff Morris, okay, and then you sign Theo Penson because he's a big locker room guy to a 2-way deal, but then you would have to cut either McKinley Wright or AJ Lawson, and that's just a whole. I don't know if you got. I don't know if that even matters, but
I would do that immediately.
would you do that?
Theo Pinson, the 2.6 career scorer and the 36% shooter this year, I would 100% get rid of him and bring him back on a 2-way. And AJ's, I have a soft spot for my Gamecock, but yeah, I would 100% do that. That's all. It's time to win, Dallas. Like, they know this. That's why they traded for Kyrie. I don't give a shit about.
Yeah, because Markieff isn't playing. So
Markieff sucks as well. Yeah, he's not going to give you anything except veterans, which you're getting. So
you cut Markieff, you cut Theo Penson, and if you really want to keep Theo Penson around, you cut AJ Lawson or McKinley Wright. But I think McKinley Wright's the better 2-way player in my opinion.
I wouldn't be surprised if that happens.
And then both of them. Yeah, and they're like, Theo's like, we'll keep you around. Here's the 2-way, so you're still here, and we'll have Nerlens Noel and Goran Dragic. Now you have Frank Ntilikina, Goran Dragic behind Kyrie and Luka, and then you have Dwight Powell, JaVale McGee, and Nerlens Noel as your center by committee, which I think isn't that bad of an idea.
Yeah, it's another one of those Band-Aids that's like, it's waterproof. I don't know if it's really gonna be waterproof, but it's better than nothing.
It's better than nothing, but I mean, in theory, one might argue that those 2 players could argue the roster is the same in talent level as last year's, maybe even better. And if Luka goes crazy,
I think the Kyrie move changes it. I think Brunson's more of a winning guy than Kyrie. I don't know. It's hard to look at buyouts in that realm because it's like, oh, well, if they were such winning players, wouldn't they be on rosters? I get it. I know
that argument. We've heard.
But you're right. Nerlens Noel would be so big for this team, and Goran would as well. So if they were to get both of them, they're looking. You're right. They got what they need.
So, do you think that raises the floor ceiling bringing in Goran Dragic? Or let me think. If you had to choose now, because we're talking as if they're going to bring both guys, do you choose Goran Dragic or do you choose Nerlens Noel? Which is a more
if I had to pick one?
Yeah.
I'd go Nerlens.
I agree. I think the need for an interior rim protector like Nerlens.
Yeah.